I've got a Z-Edge dash cam for my pickup truck. It's a few years old. It's actually quite a few years old, and it's having an issue right now where when I turn the truck off, it loses the date and time. That tells me that there's a battery somewhere that's providing the power to hold the date and time in the memory. So I took it apart to see if I can replace this thing. I've already got it cracked open, and I had to remove a couple screws. One here, and there was a quality control sticker I had to bust open and remove that screw. And then I used a very thin screwdriver, you can see the marks here, to start prying it open. And once I pried it open, I got to this point here. If you can see that or not, it's kind of a bad angle, but there were some screws holding the circuit board to the plastic case here. And once I removed those, I was able to slip the board out. Really don't want to disconnect any wires here. Let's see if I can show you here and get it out now. That's being difficult. I had it out, it was loose. Let's get this out here. There we go, popped out. And attached or glued, you can see the glue here. This is a battery here. There's no sense in giving you the battery number because the possibility of you having this exact dash cam is probably close to none. So I looked up the part number and just looked it up on Amazon, and I didn't find quite the same part number on Amazon, but I found something similar. I had the same voltage. The only thing different was the milliamp hour. This has a little bit higher. This is a 400 milliamp hour battery, and the battery that I found was a 500 milliamp battery. So I don't think it really make a difference, but the dimensions were very similar, and it should work. So after looking at this board, let me zoom in here. Let's see if I can zoom in. I'll have to refocus. I got a manual zoom and focus here. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in here. See if I can focus a little bit better here. That looks good. All right, so after inspecting the board, where the wires go, let's see if I can flip it over here carefully. They attach to the board right there. Let me focus a little bit better here. They attach right there. And after looking at it, I really don't want to melt anything next to it or disturb the surface mount components here. So I think the best option would be to cut these wires maybe close to the battery and then splice in the new battery. So let me show you the new battery here. Let me come back out. New battery here. All right, so this is the new battery here, and it's got a connector here. So I got to cut that. I got to cut this wire anyway. So I'm just going to cut this connector and then splice it in to this battery here. So I'm going to cut this battery off right now. All right, so that's done. And I'm going to cut this connector off. I'm going to intentionally leave the wires long so I got room to work. Let's see if I can strip these with my stripper. I don't know if I can do that or not. I don't know if there's enough room. Should be. I'll keep this stuff in camera. Alright, I just had to replace the battery in the camera that died. So let's go back, see if we can strip these wires here without messing anything up. So it's going to be kind of difficult here. I do it right here. I don't know if I can do it. might be too short. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it like this. Let's see if we can get it all the way in here. It's kind of long, but that's going to have to do. I was able to strip that. It's kind of long, but it's the only way I can grip it. Doing it long, so we'll see. I was able to get that one too. All right, so I'm going to twist these. Let me get this stuff out of the way here. Zoom in a little bit. All right, so I'm going to twist these wires here. Twist these wires here. All right, this one should, let's move this and strip the battery wires. We're not going to do this one as long, or strip as much insulation, I should say. Let's not cut that insulation. Let's try a different hole. It's kind of difficult. A little longer, a little bit more insulation off. There we go. All right, now I'll do the black wire. Kind of hard to see when you have blind. Pull it back a little bit. We're working on it. Not as easy as it looks. All right, do that. All right, that should be good. Twist that up. All right. Now I got some shrink tubing. Let me get some shrink tubing here. All right, so I got some 4-to-1 shrink tubing. And I might have to cut this in half. Cut this one in half. All right, put this on the black. All the way back. This on the red. Twist it. Hopefully I didn't. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make these a little shorter. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. I'll leave it like that. We'll see what happens. I'm just hoping that it doesn't shrink as soon as I start soldering this thing. I can't go too far back with it. All right, so now let's clean this out of the way. This out of the way. Bring the camera back. You can see that or not. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make it's called a physical connection for the wires. I'll start with the black. And I'm just going to kind of cross them over and try to wrap the wire around itself so it makes a good physical contact. And this is going to be very difficult because I'm messing with really short wires here. And just kind of make an X. It's really difficult. All right, so we got that one kind of I'm going to solder this one right now. Get out of the way, because if I don't solder it now, it's just going to fall apart. So I've got a soldering iron all set up over here. Turn it on. Let's make sure we can see what's going on here. I want to get this in frame. It looks a little bit better. See if I can pull that shrink tubing a little farther away. All right, looks good. All right, soldering iron. I got set to 608. Clean this tip a little bit here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me move some stuff, see if you can get the soldering iron in here. Probably not, huh? All right, so I'm gonna put a little solder on the iron here. Clean the tip. Solder. Pre-tin the iron just a little bit. I'm going to put the iron underneath the wire, and I'm just going to touch the wire until the solder flows on the wire. Heat it up. I'm blind as a bat. I can't even hardly see. I think that looks all right. My shrink tubing closed a little bit, but it doesn't look too bad. Let that cool a little bit before I try to slip the shrink tubing over it, but it seems like it's connected. Let me see if I can touch it. Yeah, I can touch it. So let me see if I can get the shrink tubing over it. I can. Put it over that. I'm just going to touch it with the soldering iron and see if I can get it to close up. Yeah, I just wiped the frickin' solder all over it. It'll come off though. I don't have a heat gun with me, so we're just going to kind of Mickey Mouse it a little bit here. All right, that looks good. All right, so that one's done. All right, let's see if we can do this next one here. Fix this wire here. Just gonna twist the strands back together. I gotta get my shrink tubing back on because that fell off. Almost forgot that. That wouldn't have been good. Put that back. Let's make an X. Just stab myself. This isn't perfect, but it should work. Pull that back a little bit more. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I think it'll work. All right, let's a little solder on the iron here. Let's put it underneath the wire. I just want the solder to flow on the wire. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. Not perfect, but it's not too bad. I'm going to wipe off this solder so I don't have the same problem we did last time. Let that cool a little bit. That's cool enough. I'm going to put the shrink wrap or the heat shrink over the joint. And we'll try shrinking it. Slowly heating it up around here. That looks pretty good. Good enough. Turn off the soldering iron. That can be moved out of the way. Okay, now we made a connection with the battery, so now we got to stick the battery back in the camera housing. So we can get this off now. Once again, it wants to attach itself. All right, so we got that. I'm just going to take and stick the battery in. Kind of tuck the wires underneath. Now we slipped in. All right, so we've got, looks like it's going to work. So now I got to attach the screws, attach the board to the housing with some screws, which I'm not going to put you through because it's probably going to be a tedious job to get these little tiny screws in. So I'm going to come back when I'm actually testing this and see if the battery actually works. That'll be it. All right, I'm in the pickup truck. I've got this now mounted on the windshield. Let's see what it does. Let me power it up. Got a dog next door barking. Uh-oh. Got a cracked screen. I must have mishandled it a little bit when I was taking it apart. But let's see if it affects programming this thing or setting the time and all that. So it says I've got to format the data here. Okay. Oop. Get the horn. Okay, so the date looks like it's got to be set. So we go to the menu here. Stop. Okay. Let's see what we can do here with program or setting the date and time. Let me see. Let me pause this because I don't even know today's date, so I gotta stop this recording. I'll come right back. Okay, it's 6/15 is the date, 2025. Is about 1 o'clock or so. I'll fix that later. I just want to see if it holds the memory. We'll leave it just like that, and then we'll back out. Okay, so everything is set. So now I'm going to power it down and see if it keeps the memory. Turn the truck off. Okay. Okay, before I changed the battery, it wouldn't take long for the memory to go kaput. So I'm just going to wait a little bit here. Alright, let's power it on and see if it remembers. Let's see what it says here. The data because we changed the date so much. Okay, it's looks like it's good. I've got today's date and the time, whatever that is. If it's correct or not, I'll fix it. But looks like we have a semi-success, semi-failure. Failure because it cracked the screen. Success because the battery's changed, and really it won't affect the operation of this. It'll still record to the SD card. The camera itself is not cracked. There's no reason for that to be cracked. It's just the screen, which has nothing to do with recording the events. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this little video. I like to try to fix things before I throw things out. Kind of makes my wife mad because every time she wants something new, I fix it and she can't get it. So, all right, well, if you like it, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to build up my following. I'm hoping to make more interesting videos in the future. All right, have a great day. Thanks for watching.